So, how to beat Raging Bolt Balance. Now, Raging Bolt Balance is a team that's quite popular, along with like other teams like Crown Town. Raging Bolt is one of the most popular teams in the format, and it can be very frustrating to play against sometimes because of the slow nature of it and how cycly it is. It's just instant Marilla fake out stuff, and it can be very, very much tedious to play against. I just realized Urshifu's on every team in top, but that's kind of funny. Anyways, so first of all, with the face cam, I got a lot of people saying, I can't even see you. So I did it again because it's funny. Gotten enough comments, what's the point of a face cam? What's the point? Why is it so dark? He's in the void. Shh. 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 Zip. It's nighttime, okay? It's okay. It's fine. So there are a lot of methods of actually getting through Bolt Balance. First, we'll talk about the one that people have been using right now, which is Taunt on Pokemon like Incineroar and Fluttermane. Now, this is the team that I used to Top Cut a tournament a while ago, video in the cards if you're interested. And I'm going to use my instant spread as an example. Because if you look at this instant spread, 102 is a fast number. So let's pull up Raging Bolt, and we'll move it to the front because we'll be looking at it. So in order for Raging Bolt to outspeed my Incineroar, guaranteed, they'd have to have 68 speed investment. Now, that's not so uncommon, but a lot of them are going really slow and really bulky. So, like, I could have even upped it more, my Incineroar, but I just had this number because if the Raging Bolts have this much speed investment, which is, like, still not that much, but a lot of the time if they have this much or more, then they're also going to have more special attack because these bolts are trained to be more offensive than defensive. However, that's what Fluttermane is for, because a lot of Fluttermane run Moonblast, Icy Wind, Talent Protect. The thing is with Fluttermane, 155 no investment. Raging Bolt cannot even hit 155 with max investment. So Fluttermane naturally is going to be outspeeding every single Raging Bolt that you will see. So a lot of people like to run this taunt Fluttermane so that they can prevent the Calm Mind setup. Now, this taunt is one way of getting around the Bolt Balance teams, but there's also the Ogerpon that can be a little bit threatening, which is why like Incin is nice. That's why I had Incin as my taunt piece, because I think I wanted my Flutter for Perish Song to have a Dozo matchup on this team. On the whole, like beating Raging Bolt through taunt is a very effective way. So that's one way, through taunt. Another way is through damage. So on Toiler Web's Knoxville team, I'm pretty sure it's Knoxville. I feel I should have checked it. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I'm pretty sure it's Knoxville. Toiler Web had this Terra Fairy Metal Coat Gholdengo. And the idea, that's not Metal Coat. And the idea with this team is that you have the Make It Rain and you have the Shadow Ball and Nasty Plot. And you're also naturally faster than Raging Bolt. So if you have, I think Toiler Web hit 118. So if you had this much speed investment, like in order for bolts to be outspeeding you, they would have to hit this much speed investment, 188. No one is putting that much speed into their bolt, realistically. So your Gholdengo is more often than not, like 95% of the time, going to be faster than all the bolts that you're playing. And the idea with this is you can click Make It Rain when they're when like the bolts are Terra Fairyed, and do a ton of damage, especially with the Nasty Plot. Like they're not living that. If they're +2, you're +2. If I had to guess, it's probably doing between 60 and 80%. Put the calc on screen, but especially with Metal Coat, you're doing a lot of damage. Like you are really, really messing up these bolts. So that's another way of dealing with it. Amoonguss is also very good into Bolt Balance because you have that Spore. A lot of them are actually picking up Sludge Bomb. And the idea with Sludge Bomb is that not only can you do damage on a Trick Room, like Amoonguss can actually do decent damage, because like if you look at it, special attack 85, not great, but not horrible. Sludge Bomb can poison, and is also super effective against the Fairy Bolts. So a lot of these methods are, like, to kill these bolts, are forcing them to Terra into Fairy, and then abusing that Terastallization. So what are other ways? I know Chen Pao is pretty good. Oh, there's one that I'm thinking of. Chen Pao is also really good into Bolt because you force that Terra. Like, if you're clicking Spin or Crash, they're always going to Terra in front of you because they don't want to take that damage. Another way is Lando. Now, Landers usually run a set that looks something like this. So basically, this is what the Lando set looked like with Terra Poison or Terra Steel. The thing is with this is that you are a ground type, so they cannot Thunderclap you, meaning that you are, first of all, always faster, and second of all, you can Earth Power Sludge Bomb and just kill them. If they Terra Fairy, they're taking the Sludge Bomb damage. If they don't, they're taking the Earth Power damage. Plus, you have that sub to get around Dragon Pulse. There's a lot of things. Like, Lando is a really, really great counter to Raging Bolt as well, and it's kind of great because even if they are deciding to Terra up and like have like +2 Thunderclap on you, you can probably calc to live that. Plus you have the Terra Poison Sludge Bomb, which is doing probably 60-70%, even if they're... that's not true. It's probably doing closer to 40 or 50 if they are +2. And it's instant killing them, I'm pretty sure, if they're neutral. So Lendo is a very, very great tool as well. Another great tool is the move Snarl. Now, Pokemon that typically run Snarl. Chi-Yu. Obviously, Chi-Yu just did well in an online tournament, but a lot of Chi-Yu run a move set that looks like this. And then they either choice Specs or choice Scarf, depending on what the team needs. But the idea is that Snarl can lower the Bolt's special attack. Now, Raging Bolt, 137 is a very high special attack stat. However, there's a lot of pieces like Rillaboom and pieces like Incineroar that actually can take damage from Bolts pretty decently. And especially if you're Calm Mind Bolt, a lot of the time you don't have such a crazy amount of investment. Like, my Bolt is 100 modest. So that's like I think it's on the higher end of Bolt investment, but the Raging Bolts are not going to have such a crazy amount of investment. Like, if we look at this, like 100 modest, or 100, 100 modest, is 187. So, like, that's good, but it's not, like, so insane. Which, like, if they're neutral and you're spamming Snarl, then, first of all, they're not able to get special defense boosts up because they're just wasting their turns. But also, they're not doing such a crazy amount of damage where you can't, like, out-damage them. So that's one way. And I know a lot of, there's, like, an AV Raging Bolt that you can also use that runs something like this. There's an AV Raging Bolt that runs something like this. Obviously, the Snarl here. With this Terra Electric or Terra Fairy, you're actually able to just sit in front of opposing Bolt and just click Snarl and whittle them down. What else runs Snarl? Let's see what else has Snarl in this format. I think some Entei runs Snarl. I'm not sure how common that is, but it's something that you can do. Iron Jugulis is not too common. But yeah, Snarl's another really, really great tool that you can use to take out Raging Bolts. That's pretty much it for the conventional methods, I think. If we look at this, like, there's, like, Iron Crown Tachyon Cutter. Like, we've already been over the Steel Damage, Force Slam to Dara. We've been over Spore with the Smeargle. Encore Disable Screamtail is something we haven't really gone over, but I think that's, like, not as conventional as typically seen. Blood Moon Ursaluna, obviously, ground type, good into Raging Bolt. Dragonite, you could use, like, Stomping Tantrum or E-Speed to do a ton of damage. There's a lot of things you can do. Fluttermane also good with the Moonblast special attack drops. But yeah, these are some ways that you can, like, some things you can incorporate to your own play to defeat the Raging Bolt Balance teams. Good luck. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.